What's up, guys, and welcome to take 2 of the McInnes Marketing Minute. Jay unfortunately went through some technical difficulties, so we
July market update is here.
July market update.
We've been waiting for this. I've never provided technical difficulties.
Yeah. So just to clarify as well, we're not live. I've been dropping that we're live.
We should be live.
We should be live, but I've been dropping. Welcome to McInnes Marketing Minute. We're live from X location.
I don't even remember you saying that.
We're not live, and
Did
I just
you go
thought,
back in the videos and watch that?
yeah, of course. So yeah, in the tale of honesty, I figured I'd come out and just say that, and we're not live, as I have gifted these videos with saying we're live when we're not, mispronouncing words like focus and focus.
Horrible.
I still hear about that today. Yeah, so today we're talking about July 2020, and it's an exciting one because year over year, July last year was when we really started to see the turn in the Vancouver market, and everything year over year prior to this month has always been comparing to a slower, softer month. Yeah, so this is our first challenge per se in comparing to a more positive month, and we are up. We're up. Just like coming straight to it. We are up 22.3%. Collectively.
Condos and houses.
Everything together, collectively, from July 2019 versus July 2020.
Which was the first real month of the
increase.
Yes. After that, we'll call it lull.
Yeah.
Post foreign buyers tax lull.
Yeah. Now I'll make note to this. If you've watched a lot of our videos, you'll know that we talk about the 10-year average not really being a good market indicator, but we know some people,
I'd like to say.
I was trying to be a bit more PC about it, but yes, we know a lot of people don't just look at that, they like cling to that like it's their last lifeline of why the market's going to drop. We were actually above the 10-year average by almost 10%.
There you go.
So that's it. I'm just going to leave that one there and you can brew on that. But yes, collectively, we were 22.3% above where we were this time last year in July. So breaking that down, houses, I don't think it's a surprise the detached market has been really picking up.
Houses.
My people taught you the English language, but that's a topic for another day. Anyway, they're up 33.3%.
And that's the highest increase out of all of them.
That's the highest increase out of all of them.
Which is the busiest market we're seeing right now and has been for the last couple of months.
Yep. Apartments are the lowest increase, which is still a 12.6% increase. And then townhomes are a 28.3% increase.
All modest, we'll say double-digit increases, or not so much.
Still solid increases as well.
Very solid increases.
So we're not going to talk too much about the inventory in this one, as the inventory is also at record highs, especially when you're looking at the 10-year average. However, we'll look at the sales to active ratio, and I'm just going to bring that to the light now because there could be hundreds of thousands of properties coming to market, but if it's all getting eaten up by home buyer demand, that's not going to change what the market value is or what the market is looking like right now. It's that.
Can we give them the framework to what these numbers are before you give the number though?
You go ahead.
I don't even think I remember it. 12%.
12% and below. So this is the sales to active listing ratio. 12% and below. Buyers.
So a buyer's market, meaning buyers have leverage in that market.
Pressure on prices to come down.
Yes. 12.1, we'll say, to 20. Balanced. So here or there. Buyers and sellers are equal, let's say, depending on obviously how sharp you individually want to price, but that's a balanced market. And then 20.1 and higher is a seller's market. So sellers have a say and they've got the leverage. Yeah. So it needs to be in those figures for a substantial period of time, which is typically 3 months or longer. So, and this is why we've been talking about the trend so much, because that sales to active listing ratio figure last month was 25.9%. So well within that seller's territory. Do we remember what it was the month before that?
Yeah, 21.4%.
So again, sellers, deeper sellers.
Exactly. So prior to that, it was 15%. So that was in the balance. So if we move into August and the numbers get released and it's above 20%, we're arguably back in that seller's market again, which puts more pressure on buyers to make a decision and more pressure on home prices potentially increasing. I mean, on average, it was 0.7% a month prices will be going up prior to COVID. So it looks like we're heading back in that direction. That's why we've been talking so much about the trend in which we've been seeing. I mean, post-COVID, our lowest was 11.5% on that number, sales active listings
That
ratio.
was right in the middle of it though.
Exactly. And so since then, we've just been pretty dramatically increasing. I mean, we went from that to 15%, to 21.4%, to 25.9% where we are now. And so it's catching that trend and seeing the way that the market is going.
Yeah, and that, as we've said before, the market, when it was down at its lowest, was essentially paused. We haven't seen a huge difference in pricing. There's been a little less, we'll say, upward pressure on pricing by way of multiples. They're definitely still happening. Mm-hmm. 2 of our deals last month were in multiples.
Yep.
That sold 2 of our listings, but we're still in that increase, but we aren't seeing, I don't think yet, what we were quite seeing in March, but it's come back substantially from that paused point. So pricing hasn't, and I know we're talking activity, but pricing hasn't really slipped, even taking all this into consideration, which a lot of people were, I will say, anticipating.
Yes.
Obviously there's, we'll say 49% of the market hoping for, not the market, the people. And yeah, but obviously pricing has sustained very well, and now the activity has come, I'm going to say, roaring back since that pause time of COVID to these numbers.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's, and I mean, you can talk more on this as well, but there's been some external partners like Realtor.ca who have just come out as well saying that they've been hitting some record-breaking numbers as well, and like pretty substantial too. Hey, you want to jump into
I'm going to jump right onto the page and the email I got, because my memory isn't what it once was. So year over year, they're talking the same thing. July 2020 to July 2019. July 2020, they're up unique visitors, 10.7 million unique visitors, which is up 46% year over year. So what that is Realtor.ca. So when the majority of you go online and look at real estate, that's the main site that you're looking at. So the activity that they are getting is up 46% year over year. Leads they're giving out, I don't know how relevant this is to people, but it's up 51% of almost 500,000. And the inventory that they're seeing on the site has decreased by 18%.
Yeah.
So the main thing is people are out looking, and almost 50% more wave of activity these sites are seeing with people looking at the market, even compare, and that's year over year. So when we started to where we are now. So very interesting, I think.
Yeah.
Another third party outside of real estate boards stating that activity is roaring back.
Yeah, it goes back to a couple of months ago, we were talking about inventory was obviously going to increase after everything started calming down a little bit, but what was going to happen with home buyer demand? Was it going to balance out more, or was it going to keep going up and put us back to, or at least more on the trend to what was happening pre-COVID? And it looks like we're going back to that point. I'm interested to see how the fall looks. I still hate that it's called fall, it's autumn.
No, it's
Nonetheless, I'm interested to see how autumn looks.
Oh,
That sounds good. Hey.
cringe.
I'm interested to see how autumn looks, because typically that's one of our busiest months as well. So is that going to, or busiest months, is that going to carry on this year?
I'm gonna say yes.
It certainly looks that way. Or are we just experiencing now the delayed spring market and it's actually gonna tail off? But I think after speaking to a lot of people, I mean, we are active realtors out there right now having these conversations with our clients and with people. And I think we've been getting a lot of conversation, gonna wait till the fall, the same types of conversations we're getting each year. So I don't think it's gonna drop personally either.
And they're saying we were gonna wait till the fall, sellers specifically, because that's typically, as Ben said, when things start to ramp up again. Mm-hmm. And they're not anticipating an adjustment, they're waiting to position themselves specifically in that traditionally busier time of year.
Especially now with these figures as well, I think sellers are more inclined to do that if they can, because they're looking at the figures now. They'll know that we're on the trajectory for a seller's market. So in their eyes, when it comes around to the fall, by that point, we will be in the seller's market and they'll be better situated. So, I mean, buyers now is really, really your chance, really your chance. But I think that wraps us up for this week. Thank you for joining us as always. We will see you next week.
Thank you for your attention.